the first knee-jerk reaction is कि हम छुपा लेते हैं.
इसके लिए काफी लोग डाउरी एडवोकेट कर रहे हैं.
आपके पेरेंट्स भी सेम सिटी में, then you can't hide it.
So what is it that you would like to say to those teenage men?
Very important for boys and girls to talk to each other at that age.
आती का खंडाला की वजह से टीजिंग बढ़ गया है.
ये चीजें तो हमारे कल्चर में ही, आई थिंक.
आज इंटरनेट सिर्फ आधे अधूरे सच और पूरे झूठ में डूबा हुआ है. किसी के पास गहराई से सोचने का या शांति से सुनने का वक्त ही नहीं है. हम एक ऐसा शांत कोना बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Nope, not your ordinary podcast for entertainment.
Nope.
Akansha, you've been studying on gender and gender justice. मुझे एक चीज पूछनी है आपसे कि what is the health of Indian women today? How are they doing?
I would be hesitant to answer this in either a yes or no because I feel बहुत ही complicated से position में है अभी women. Of course, it's very great to see a lot of women coming out and asserting their rights कि हमें भी job करना है, हमें भी higher education में जाना है. But then there are a lot of things that tie you back. A lot of traditional roles. In fact, I've been trying to think about it, and that's what I also try to do in most of my courses, कि ऐसा क्यों है? And one of the things that I feel, and again, this is just my opinion, my personal belief, is that it has a lot to do with how in India we understand a modern woman. And when we use the term modern woman, how we also understand the idea of what it means to become modern. जब हम modernity के बारे में इंडिया में बात करते हैं, we are very selective. We have in fact historically been selective. For instance, even when we talk about modernity, there are three very broad aspects of it that we can discuss. एक होता है scientific modernity, which I think most of the Indians are very on board with. कि scientific developments होंगे, lifestyle will be better, infrastructural development. But when it comes to the other two aspects of it, which is largely religious modernity, socio-cultural modernity, in those aspects में we have historically suffered a lot because हमें लगता है कि ये वाला modernity ठीक नहीं है हमारे लिए. Even जब हम colonial period में देखते हैं, when colonization was happening, there were a lot of British women also who were coming to India. There was a lot of missionary work that was happening. The ways Indian perceived of those British women was also quite different because they were allowed to, roam freely in the public sphere. Whereas हमारे Indian women के साथ उस time पे ऐसा नहीं था. I'm talking about the 19th century, late 19th century. उस टाइम पे भी ये था कि नो हमारी women को एक सर्टन तरीके से देखा जाए. इनफैक्ट जब हम थोड़ा और आगे अगर हिस्ट्री में बढ़े, there were a lot of people who were okay with educating women, but they were not okay with them going out and working. Because a lot of problems that we see today, for instance, you'll see a lot of matrimonial ads that say कि women of ये height, ये complexion, so and so degrees, but not willing to work. So where is this anxiety about women going out and working coming from, that they should not be doing that? So I think it can be traced back to our histories. In fact, जब पूरा revivalist movement चल रहा था इंडिया में, there were a lot of concepts that were reinterpreted. हम बहुत सारी चीज़ों को नए तरीके से समझने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. And one of the very important concepts is that of a new woman. कि अब हमारा देश आज़ाद होने वाला है. So how are we going to look at our new Indian woman? What roles should she be performing? What qualities must she exhibit? Or it's surprising to see how most of those roles that were defined were tied to the domestic space. कि सबसे पहला job तो है to get married. There's no question about it. There's no other way out. शादी होनी ही है. There will be children. You'll have to cook food for the family. That's also not negotiable. Again, you can be somebody who is well aware of the politics that's happening. which is why the new woman, and this is quite interesting, and which is why I said कि modernity और tradition में काफी सारे answers मिल जाएंगे हमें, the distinctions between the two. They wanted women to study. Of course, we are talking about elite, upper caste, upper class family backgrounds only. कि आप पढ़ो, but you should not be using your knowledge to delve into the public sphere. You should not be talking about politics. इनफैक्ट एक बहुत ही important वर्क भी लिखी हुई है इस पे by Rabindranath Tagore, translated as Home and the World, which discusses this entire politics कि क्यों men को ही बाहर रहना चाहिए and why they should only be talking about India's independence and not women, despite the fact that there is a requirement कि नहीं, women should be educated. Then what's the point of educating them? अगर आप उनको space नहीं दे रहे हो कि आप जाके exercise करो your free will or whatever, it fails ultimately. Again, returning to the question of socio-cultural and religious forms of modernity, I feel there are certain actions, activities that we still tend to frown upon. क्योंकि हम कुछ चीज़ों को सोचते हैं कि okay, this is a good aspect of modernity, you know, to have a very nice smartphone, or to have all the basic technological amenities. But then उसी में अगर women assert their rights to become modern, then that becomes very problematic, because we are on this question of modernity. What's also interesting is how men and women are understood. Gender roles तो होते ही हैं, but there are emotional roles also. We have been generationally told that, you know, women should emote in a certain way. As I was saying, caregiver's job. उनको caregiver तो होना ही होगा. Of course, I mean, a woman can choose to do so, but perhaps हर किसी को नहीं करना हो. And same goes for men as well. That men should not be emoting in certain ways. Men should not be crying. Men should not be vulnerable. But again, these are, and there's a lot of narrative that stands in favor of this. This is not really true. हमेशा से ऐसा नहीं रहा है, because again, there are always currents and undercurrents in societies. And of course, it depends on how we frame those narratives, कि कुछ narratives है जो ज़्यादा prominent होते हैं, कुछ नहीं होते. And again, if we look back in history, we'll see that during that period itself, there were in fact so many men who were writing about their vulnerable selves. वो भी, it was also happening in a certain context, क्योंकि colonization के वजह से a lot of people had lost a lot of their assets. So of course, these are also primarily upper caste, upper class men, but at least they were trying to come forward and talk about aspects relating to mental health, their imperfections, कि it's okay, I'm imperfect, it's okay, मेरे पास अभी ये चीजें नहीं है. But then we don't see those narratives surfacing very often in our everyday lives.
मतलब जैसे मैंने जो नोटिस किया है कॉमेडी को लेके, उसमें एक चीज मुझे लगता है कि of course there are more men doing comedy than women.
Yeah, definitely.
And they are releasing more videos. There are more unfunny men than unfunny women.
Yeah.
By that logic. फिर उसके बाद क्या होता है ना, unfunny men, nobody is like हंसना था क्या, ये करेगा क्या, couldn't start laughing, and they make fun of it, and it's become in popular culture where everybody participates on. See, we are all work in progress as comedians. हमारा सब काम वही है कि आप अपने पिछले शो से ज़्यादा बेहतर हो आज. And it is a time thing. Like if I see my 2017 videos, sometimes I'm also cringing. So those things happen, but I don't think we give women in comedy a fair space. Or by not just the men, and वो तो ठीक ठाक behave करते हैं वो, but audience ही उनको space नहीं दे रहा है. उसका क्या reason है?
Again, I feel it's a very structural problem, क्योंकि that's what we have learned. I mean, a lot of men today have women friends and women have men friends. But as we grow, we are somewhere or the other constantly being told, or we are telling ourselves internally in our mind कि नहीं, बड़े होके we have to behave in a certain way. So you see a lot of friendship relationships become sour because of these reasons also, because the idea is कि जब आप बड़े होते हो, you have to give in to those gendered roles. And I feel women have always fought for this. जब हम देखें कि how have in fact women progressed in India, of course they have fought at each and every level. Even fighting at each and every level in India is quite interesting, because जब हम बोलते हैं कि first wave feminism happened because of voting rights, women demanded that. इंडिया में नहीं करना पड़ा because इंडिया में इंडिपेंडेंस के साथ ही women के पास voting rights थे. Second wave of feminism, which was about women's bodily agency. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि इंडिया में जो विमेन की जो फाइट है टू आस्क फॉर देयर स्पेस, टू assert their agency, will overlap or coincide with that. तो हमारे अपने बहुत ही peculiar examples हैं, which not many people in fact talk about. There are few interesting scholarships that have come up. Again, globally bhi we don't discuss it. Leave aside that India maybe there's not much of a discussion that happens around it. For instance, if we were to just take up a few examples, again from our own histories, one of the most important factors that led women to assert their space was the right to be educated. Isme bhi, when we talk about the historical social reform movements, how many women do we know of? We know of course, a lot of upper caste, upper class men, Brahmin men, helping women, enabling women, but we don't see too many women out there, or at least our school textbooks do not say that. Of course, I'm sure people have now heard of Savitri Bai Phule, but not many people have heard of Fatima Sheikh. But apart from these women, how many women do we know about? तो जब हम उस फॉर्म में रेजिस्टेंस की भी बात करें, so it's not a collective resistance that we've ever seen in India, that women, again, unlike in the first wave feminism or second wave feminism, that women are out there. हमारा daily struggle ही रहा है of resisting against each and every norm. So there are in fact very interesting autobiographies written by women. In fact, one example that I would like to share here is of a woman who got married. This is again somebody living in 19th century. उनकी शादी हो गई 10-12 साल के एज में, and she of course never learned how to read and write, and then she went on to have at least about 14 or 15 children till the age of 41-43, and that was also the time जब पर्दा सिस्टम था, so you would have a pallu in front of you, but then she desired to read because she would look at her children reading and writing, and it fascinated her a lot. And in fact, what's also interesting is कि उनको वो fascination भी इसलिए आया क्योंकि she wanted to be able to read holy scriptures. That's again another structural issue कि जब आप अपने rights के लिए भी कर रहे लड़ाई, तो वो भी एक certain restricted sense में ही होना चाहिए. For instance, if somebody wants to learn how to read and write in order to be able to read scriptures, then it will be readily accepted. So what this woman does is she would steal papers from the notebooks of her kids, or because आगे ऐसे पल्लू रहता था, she would just hold one of the leaves and try to read while she's cooking. And that's how she taught herself, to the extent that she went on to write an autobiography about her life, which is not just the first woman's autobiography in India written, but also one of the first autobiographies ever to be written on record. So which is a great deal. But then we see how it was happening at the level of domesticity. Because of course there are a lot of complexities involved. So she had her own views. She was not somebody जो caste के लिए critical थी. She was not somebody who was against the idea of women revolting against the proper marriage setup. So she would talk a lot about स्त्री धर्म, women's sansar, कि क्या होता है, what you have to do. Or again, she was not somebody who would talk about, how women would look. So for instance, she did not approve of women जिनके छोटे बाल थे. So she had her own problems. But then that was what she was talking about in, let's say, 19th century. There's another very important discussion जो हम कर सकते हैं, which is on another woman, Tarabai Shinde, who was writing in the western regions of India. In fact, उनका एक ही written work available है, which is called Stree Purush Tulna. In that, she talks about women's rights to abort their children.
Oh,
Yes,
which
19th
century?
century, 1880s. She was also somebody who was associated with Satyashodak Samaj, with the Phules.
Yeah.
Her family was associated. And Stree Purush Tulna, the text is entirely about how women are considered to be the lesser sex as compared to men, which is again very progressive for its times. But जब आप उस text को भी ध्यान से पढ़ोगे तो you'll see that she's also somebody who tells you कि औरत को पतिव्रता तो होना ही होगा. And then she defines pativrata or what it means to be, a woman obeying a husband. Even though her marriage was of a very different kind of marriage. She was married to this man and both of them lived in her own house. So she never left her home after marriage. तो वो वहीं रहती थी. And because we are talking about acceptance, so there are few other works about her because उन्होंने उसके बाद और कुछ नहीं लिखा. In fact, I should also mention जो स्त्री पुरुष तुलना था, it was not unlike the other woman that I was talking about, an autobiographical piece. She published it in one of the weekly newspapers. So she was very much a part of that public sphere then, talking about women's rights in the 1800s. But at a later point, कुछ और लोग भी आए who tangentially talked about her, and you'll see how she's also characterized. She was a woman who did not have any children in her marriage. उनका जो description आया वो ऐसा था कि she would just roam about in her fields with a stick in her hand, trying to beat all the children. Very ugly looking woman, wearing thick glasses. So you see, mote chashme, not a beautiful woman. Again, the equation. Roaming around with a stick, that because she does not have children of her own, she does not like children altogether. But that was not really the case. She was perhaps doing it क्योंकि वो बच्चे जाके उनके खेत में कुछ बदमाशी कर रहे होंगे. And she was just trying to shoo them away. So women who have always talked about their rights, their agencies have been frowned upon. They've been categorized as ugly. कि आप अच्छे नहीं दिखते हो. या if we were to talk more about examples of acceptance, कि क्यों अभी नहीं आ रहा है society में acceptance, because वो तो पहले भी नहीं था और उसको we'll have to constantly interrogate it. Again, as part of a lot of revivalist movements in India, there were public events that were organized. So, for instance, at one point, melas would be organized. And that was, in fact, very interestingly, one of the first times जब women को कहा गया था कि आप भी participate करो.
It's like a festivity.
Festivity. In fact, to be precise, it was the Ganesh Melas. Because again, the celebration of Ganesh Chaturthi is one of the very important key aspects of Indian revivalist tradition. So these were all the Ganesh Melas for which women were invited. And you would think कि women को invite किया गया, of course, मतलब it's so progressive and it is. But उनको वहाँ पे invite करके क्या बोला जा रहा है? उन मेले में क्या होता था कि there would be a lot of songs that would be written, poems जो perform किए जाते थे. And in fact, it would be interesting to look at one of those that I've just highlighted here, which is about women's aspiration to read. कि अगर कोई किसी Indian woman को पढ़ना है, she wants to know how to read and write in English. So it just goes like this and it is in translation. So it was perhaps in Marathi and it has been translated into English. There's an ethical and religious crisis. Women too now follow men. So again, the very idea कि you are also being denied the space कि आप खुद से सोच सकते हो कि आपको क्या करना है. आप ये इसलिए कर रहे हो क्योंकि men are also doing it, right? She too prefers to learn numbers. She can no longer draw the rangoli because that is also culturally very important, but serves it as sought, that too on the kheer. So you see how the distinction goes कि rangoli के जो colors है उसको आप खीर पे डाल दे रहे हो because you don't even know कि it's not edible. Because you're so mesmerized by this idea कि आपको पढ़ना है. And the rotis are burnt from below, but never mind, she now speaks English. So you see how it was structurally designed that way कि we will invite women, but we'll tell them what they must do.
कुछ नया सीखने मिला मुझे कि कोई 1890 में कोई अबॉर्शन राइट्स के बारे में बात कर रहा था और कोई आपके पास ऐसे एग्जांपल्स हैं जो आपको थोड़ा बताएंगे कि
या इनफैक्ट हम थोड़ा और इनफैक्ट टाइम में भी आगे आ सकते हैं, समथिंग दैट इज प्रेवलेंट इवन टुडे, बिकॉज जब हम विमेन और स्पेस के पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, वी ऑफ कोर्स रिस्पेक्ट विमेन इन इंडिया, आई मीन वी शुड रिस्पेक्ट विमेन एवरीवेयर, बट नैरेटिव हमेशा ये रहता है कि इंडियन विमेन आर द मोस्ट रिस्पेक्टेड, और उसके पीछे भी देयर इज अगेन अ स्ट्रक्चरल रीजन, बिकॉज वेरी ऑफ्टन हम क्या करते हैं, हम विमेन को एलिवेट कर देते टू द स्टेटस ऑफ गॉडेस, जैसे बोलना घर की लक्ष्मी या अन्नपूर्णा या भारत माता, ऑल ऑफ दीज आर गॉडेस फिगर्स. नाउ देर आर टू थिंग्स इम्पॉर्टेंट अबाउट इट हियर. फर्स्टली कि आप जो ये रेज कर रहे हो विमेन को, इट इज ओनली बीइंग डन सिम्बॉलिकली. For instance, if we take the example of Annapurna, because we were talking about burnt rotis and all of that, तो आप symbolically बोल रहे हो okay, she's a goddess. दूसरा, उससे actually ये हो रहा है कि if a woman at some point feels, even today, you know, she should not be performing those daily chores, उन्हें नहीं बनाना खाना because she does not want to do it, or she does not like doing it, or she wants to do something else, whatever reason for, there's not much of a space, क्योंकि उन्हें ये लगेगा कि she has already been elevated to the level of God. We know goddesses are all powerful. तो जब आप खुद ही goddess हो, तो you cannot really have any problems in life, because gods and goddesses do not have problems in life. तो आप structurally ensure कर रहे हो कि वो इंसान ये सोचे भी ना, women ये सोचे भी ना कि उनके साथ कुछ गलत हो रहा है. और जैसे ही ये सोच आए, तो perhaps the mind can directly go to the idea, towards the idea कि मैं तो I'm like a goddess. तो perhaps मेरा दिमाग शायद गलत direction में गया. I should just focus on the work that I'm doing. So I think it is because of these very narratives, these kinds of narratives, कि acceptance of women in the public space is not very prevalent.
हाँ, और हमारी आदत भी है कि अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो उसके साथ एक और प्रॉब्लम लगा देते हैं हम. जैसे अब जो भी चल रहा है सोसाइटी में ऑन एलिमनी एंड दिस एंड दैट, इसके लिए काफ़ी लोग डाउरी एडवोकेट कर रहे हैं. लाइक आई हैव नेवर हर्ड अ मोर मिसप्लेस्ड सोल्यूशन. तो एक चीज़ मुझे आपसे पूछनी थी कि ये मॉडर्निटी पे हम आते हैं, तो एक मॉडर्न स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ रिलेशनशिप्स, वो शादी के अलावा जैसे लिव इन हो, तो उसमें औरतें अपनी राइट्स और स्पेस कैसे मेंटेन कर सकती है?
आई बिलीव फिलहाल कुछ टाइम पहले भी लिव इन को लेके काफ़ी डिस्कशन हुआ था बिकॉज ऑफ द उत्तराखंड UCC दैट वाज इम्प्लीमेंटेड. एज पार्ट ऑफ माय रिसर्च, आई वाज इंटरव्यूइंग अ फ्यू पीपल अबाउट लिव इन रिलेशनशिप्स एंड देयर सिचुएशन इन इट. कुछ बहुत ही कॉमन ऑब्जर्वेशंस थे that in fact we can talk about. First is the first knee-jerk reaction is कि हम छुपा लेते हैं. Let's not tell our parents from both the sides. Second is, let's say in case अगर आप दोनों partners in a live-in and आपके parents भी same city में, then you can't hide it. You have to tell them. And of course your parents may not agree, but if they agree, वो willingness भी पूरा नहीं है. Because of course they would then want to ask you कि क्या हम अपने relatives को बोले कि you're about to be engaged, या you will be engaged, या you will get married, without realizing that perhaps this is not what they may want to do. हो सकता है उन्हें कभी शादी करनी ही ना हो, but of course they do like each other, they want to live with each other, but the acceptance towards it is not very commonplace. There's also another attached idea कि ये क्या wasteful life है. What are they even doing? Because it's against the usual progressions. जैसे आपने पढ़ाई की, आपने जॉब लिया, you'll get married, you'll have children. अगर आप इससे deviate करते हो, तो ये structural deviation है society में. And of course, everybody has a certain role to perform. And the moment हम उस role को perform करने से कहीं चूक जाते हैं, तो of course there's criticism. Again, live-in relationships are also understood as quite wasteful. कि ये क्या, is it just a matter of pleasure? But there's not this acceptance or an openness to understanding that perhaps marriage as an institution can be oppressive. Not just to women, to men also. क्योंकि वो तो एक अलग ही problem है कि we don't allow men to emote much. तो उस पे देयर इज नॉट मच ऑफ अ डिस्कशन. अगेन व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट मॉडर्न रिलेशनशिप्स एंड लिव इन एज पार्ट ऑफ इट, आई एम नॉट इवन टॉकिंग अबाउट रूरल स्पेसेस या tier 2 tier 3 cities. If you look at big tier 1 cities, वहाँ पे भी other than your family members there are third parties, brokers है, landlords है, who come with their own biases. तो a lot of times brokers ही आपको बोलेंगे, आप झूठी बोल दो ना कि आप engaged हो, क्या जा रहा है आपका, आपको भी घर मिल जाएगा, आपके लैंडलॉर्ड के लिए भी ठीक रहेगा. दे स्पेशली डू दिस व्हेन अ कपल इज इंटरफेथ. उसमें तो बहुत ही प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं. एट टाइम्स जब आपके लैंडलॉर्ड अगर कहीं और रहे, उस बिल्डिंग में ना रहे, तो इट्स बेटर. बट जब उस बिल्डिंग में है तो दे विल कॉन्स्टेंटली कीप इंटरफेयरिंग विथ योर डेली लाइफ कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, वैसा क्यों हो रहा है. या नॉट जस्ट लिव इन, आई मीन आई कम बैक टू इट, बट इवन इफ यू स्पीक टू अ लॉट ऑफ विमेन living, let's say, alone, single women living alone or single women living with each other as flatmates, that is also frowned upon. Not many people want to rent them their places. And when they do, वो अलग अलग तरीकों से कई बार उन्हें परेशान करते हैं. आई मीन आई एम नॉट जनरलाइजिंग दिस, बट फ्रॉम माई इंटरव्यूज दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव ऑब्जर्व. उनको अगर ग्राउंड फ्लोर का घर दिया तो ऊपर से कभी कुछ ट्रैश फेंक देना एंड टू से कि बच्चे ने गलती से कर दिया. What can you do about it then? बच्चे ने ही गलती से किया है. So again, these are problems that exist, but we are not ready to accept that these problems exist. And in fact, there's some politics of space also that is involved. कि जब आप लिव इन कपल को रेंट आउट करते हो फ्लैट, आप इंश्योर करते हो इन मेनी केसेस दैन नॉट एक वैसा फ्लैट दिया जाए जिसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हो, विंडोज कम हो, या पर्टिकुलरली अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कि जिसका एंट्री बिल्कुल मेन एंट्रेंस से ना हो, बिल्डिंग के पीछे से हो. एंड दिस इज पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ स्पेस. या सबसे ऊपर वाला कमरा देना,
यहाँ पे लिफ्ट ना हो,
बहुत गर्मी हो. द आइडिया बीइंग कि जो मेन स्ट्रीम स्पेसेस है, ग्राउंड फ्लोर, फर्स्ट फ्लोर, जो सेंट्रल स्पेसेस है, वो प्रॉपर फैमिलीज को दिया जाए. फैमिली
बंक बेड होगा किड्स रूम में वैसे.
Exactly. So family also means what? A man and a woman living together as husband and wife, and maybe their kids. But everything else is on the fringe. बाकी सब आप साइड में कहीं, it's almost as if you're trying to hide it. कि this is an imperfection of the society जिसको हम छुपा सकते हैं. And of course, it goes unsaid कि everybody wants to make money. And in these cases, people in fact are making money out of people's miseries. क्योंकि जब लैंडलॉर्ड देखते हैं कि इंटरफेथ कपल है या लिव इन कपल है, तो दे यूजुअली ट्राई टू कम अक्रॉस एज वेरी एल्ट्रुइस्टिक कि हम कुछ भी करके वी आर ट्राइंग टू मैनेज इट, वील चलो गिव यू दैट स्पेस. बट देन लेजिटिमेट एक्सपेक्टेशन होता है कि हम रेंट थोड़ा बढ़ा देंगे. सो that's also there, and it's interesting to see how live-in registration that is required as part of UCC is actually adhering to it or not, or is doing anything about it or not. And of course it's too soon to say, but one can in fact look at a lot of details that it requires one to fill in without reaching anywhere concrete. Because prior to this also, we've had a lot of judgments. In fact, there are few very landmark judgments. One would be, in fact, the Badri Prasad 1978 case. And if I may quote from there, which says, a strong presumption arises in favor of wedlock when the partners have lived together for a long spell as husband and wife. And I'll skip a few lines. Law leans in favor of legitimacy and frowns upon bastardy. And again, there is another very important judgment, the Velusamy judgment of 2010. वो भी यही बोलता है. In fact, it lays down 3 to 4 points in favor of how, when we say, because most of these judgments use the phrase in nature of marriage, yeah, akin to marriage. So how do we understand a relationship which is not exactly one of marriage but like marriage? तो वहाँ पे भी they've used the ideas of कि कैसे एक couple खुद को present कर रहे society में as a almost like a married couple. So that is there. If I may just again read out, the couple must hold themselves out to society as being akin to spouses. तो उन दोनों को ऐसे behave करना चाहिए as if they are married. अगर ऐसा रहा है तो then it's one of the things that can be taken into account. Then secondly, they must be of legal age. तो जो भी लीगल एज है मैरिज का 18 and 21, that can be taken into account, and few other things. And in fact, there's another very important judgment which is in the Khushbu case of 2010, which talks about how very often we look at things which are considered to be immoral, again from the perspective of morality, but again we forget that it's not illegal. So a lot of judgments you'll see reiterate this, that live-in relationship may be looked at as immoral, but it is definitely not illegal. तो जब लॉ से ये ट्रांसलेट होके हमारे माइंड्स में आता है, वहाँ पे भी देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ जर्नी दैट हैज टू बी मेड, बट दैट इज नॉट हैपनिंग, क्योंकि लॉ तो एग्जिस्ट करता है और लॉ गारंटी भी करता है आपको वो प्रोटेक्शन. In a lot of cases, live-in related cases that have gone to the courts, it is mostly, in fact, of course, it is at times about partner violence, it is about financial maintenance, but most of the times it is about protection. और यहाँ पे, of course, couple को किससे protection चाहिए? Not from some goons, but from their own family members. Now, the thing with the UCC form is that it almost, I mean, marriages in India are a spectacle, or elsewhere also, but it's really being blown out of proportion to give it a very public stature. So usme, for instance, there's a requirement. Legally, India mein the marriageable age for women is 18 and for men is 21. But according to the form, if either of the partners are below 21, उनके पेरेंट्स को बताना होगा. They'll have to seek permission from their parents. पेरेंट्स के सारे डिटेल्स होने होंगे. पेरेंट्स will have to give consent कि हाँ ठीक है, we are allowing you to do that, which is also, I believe, it is a dangerous precedent in many ways.
And one case happens, like, then you can make the 21,
course.
25 and the 25, 28 and the 30.
Precisely. So of course, जैसे अगर उस type के cases of brutality happen, which have happened in the past also, those are used as examples. देखो, this is what happens when you try to exercise too much freedom. अगर आप अपने boundaries transgress करोगे, तो this is the consequence that you'll be met with. But we also fail to understand कि ये तो marriage relationships में भी हो रहा है. If we just look at the data,
बहुत ज़्यादा.
तो how is this, the form, ensuring any protection particularly to women in that sense? Because if we also look at other aspects of it, it's very much like the marriage registration form. Of course, there are differences, but काफी सारे aspects same हैं. So the problem is कि हम live-in को presuppose कर रहे हैं कि ये तो हाँ first step towards marriage, कि marriage तो होगा ही, but there's a hesitation and understanding कि नहीं भी हो सकता है, and we are not ready to accept that possibility कि शायद नहीं हो सकता, and we should be happy with that also.
I know a friend who's in the live-in for more than 40 years.
Wow.
Anand Patwardhan, like documentary
Okay,
filmmaker.
yes.
But वो rare है. That's not the norm. But
Yeah.
अभी भी हम बोलते हैं तो वो correct करता है हमें, my partner.
Partner, yeah. In fact, I mean, this is just as an aside. Even I am married, but I never would want to refer to my partner as husband, or he would not want to refer to me as wife, because ये भी symbolic ही है. कोई हंस भी सकता है इसके ऊपर, and it's fine. But then when we again use the term, you know, she's my wife or he's my husband, हम constantly reinforce कर रहे हैं कि हाँ wife है तो she'll have to behave a certain way. So these are all again gendered terms, gendered roles.
Like what I think about the men who I see, I think they lack the education to engage further with women. So what is it that you would like to say to those teenage men? Like there was a lot of talk about ये Netflix पे जो show आया था, उसके बारे में बहुत बातें हुई. तो what is it that men can do to make sure that they are compatible, safe, and women are safe around them at a very young age, what is it that they can adapt to?
I think we'll have to normalize a lot of thoughts. Pehle to, of course, as is said, charity begins at home. This is, of course, not charity. This is something that is very fundamental to our lives. So what we see at home goes a long way into deciding कि हम कैसे behave करते हैं. Because, of course, our parents और anybody's parents और family members वो बिल्कुल पहले लोग होते हैं जिनको आप देखते हो, जिनसे आप सीखते हो. lot of times आप उनको idealize करते हो. And if they are adhering to again these very conservative set of ideas and beliefs, so that is problematic. The other is, of course, we'll have to normalize conversations. Again, the very fact कि gender roles तो होते ही है, but emotional roles भी होते हैं, तो हमें वो भी change करना होगा. That men can also emote. What's wrong about them emoting? I mean, because we're talking about, teenagers. जब वो किसी को approach करते हैं, both boys and girls, it's largely based on what they've seen in shows, right? In a very stereotypical manner. So the boy always has to behave in a macho way. If the girl is feeling cold, he has to offer her his coat. I mean, ये बिल्कुल stereotypical ways होते हैं, and good that if you're doing it, but then you will have to strike a conversation. If you want to, let's say, if you like a person, तो आपको उनको जानना होगा, और उनको जानने के लिए you'll have to have honest conversations with them. Not conversations that, you look...
Lead to just physical intimacy.
Exactly.
Yeah, not conversations that are just leading into physical intimacy. It has to be also
Exactly.
an emotional intimacy, or even like questions that they may have.
Questions, and of course they can also talk about being vulnerable.
Of course.
Because especially when we talk about teenagers, of course there's a lot of teenager bullying also that's happening in schools, unfortunately. So one could just open up with that as well, instead of, hiding it behind you and creating this facade of, a very strong foreboding figure. तो आप वो भी कर सकते हो, but I think being honest goes a long way. Being honest about what you feel, about how to express it. And I think it's very, very important for, boys and girls to talk to each other at that age. Of course, about anything, but that boundary should not be there कि, boys should be talking to boys. वो भी होता है, बहुत सारे शहरों में होता है. If not in tier 1 cities, tier 2, tier 3 cities में होता ही है. And that also culminates into a lot of anxieties when one grows up. Because when one grows up, आप देख रहे हो कि ये तो करना ही है. You have to have a woman friend, or you have to have a man friend. So how do you befriend them? Or how, if you like somebody, how do you approach them? And more often than not, the way they approach them with are not really the ways they should be adopting. So I think a lot of conversations need to happen in that way. Uninhibited conversations.
एक लास्ट सवाल था मेरा towards this subject. The public discourse on gender, where do you think it's not? I think it's detrimental to our women, but what do you think?
I feel so too, because जितने भी हमारे discussions हो रहे हैं अभी about, even when you see women's day के around, जब एक strong woman के identity को सामने रखा जाता है through various advertisements, या जो भी हम देखते, काफी सारे ads आते हैं उस time पे इनफैक्ट. So we'll see एक strong woman बहुत ही इंडिया में एक interesting figure है, because she is not somebody जो बिल्कुल straight radically ऐसे सोच रहे हैं, but वो एक जॉब कर रहे, because again modernity, modern responsible woman. But then the best category of women that we see prevailing in India in terms of perception is one who's taking care of both. So you'll see a lot of picture wherein women are working but are carrying their infants around.
वो तो मजबूरी है.
But that's the problem. हम उसको मजबूरी की तरह नहीं देख रहे. हम देख रहे कि
हमेशा जो भी कोई फीमेल एथलीट या कोई कुछ जीतती है, तो उनका एक पूजा करते हुए फोटो डाल देते हैं और खेलते हुए फोटो डाल देते हैं और बोलते हैं मैरी समवन हु कैन डू बोथ.
who can do both. एग्जैक्टली
और आदमी के लिए ऐसा कोई रिक्वायरमेंट
कुछ
नहीं
नहीं
है।
है, क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स आदमी तो एक यूनिवर्सल पर्सन है, एंड दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम कि जब हम विमेन को देखते हैं, एंड करंटली इन द जेंडर्ड नेशन आल्सो दैट वी लुकिंग एट, वहां पे भी हम विमेन को देख रहे हैं एज एन आइडेंटिटी हु लैक्स एट्रीब्यूट्स दैट आर देयर इन मेन। तो हम विमेन को वो स्पेस ही नहीं दे रहे कि हम उनको विमेन की तरह देखें, उनको एक्सप्रेस करने दे व्हाट दे फील। इट इज ऑलवेज इन रिलेशन टू मेन। तो आई थिंक जब तक हम विमेन को मेन के रिलेशन में देखेंगे, वी आर नॉट गोइंग एनीवेयर। तो आई थिंक इफ वी मूव इन दैट डायरेक्शन, जहाँ हम विमेन को उनका खुद का स्पेस दे, उनको एक्सप्रेस करने का, उनको समझने का, तो आई थिंक देन थिंग्स मे चेंज।
जैसे मेरा एक दोस्त है अनिर्बान, उसने पॉइंट आउट किया था कि कोई फीमेल लिरिक्स राइटर ही नहीं है, तो वी बीन लुकिंग एट women from the gaze of just men and looking at men in no way. So उससे आफरीन पे उसका सेट है कि इतने कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स औरत को दे देता है, वो फिर
Yes.
बोलता है मैं तो बस हूँ।
Poems or shairis like those, they all talk about, oh, as we were talking about कि women को elevate कर दिया जाता है goddess की तरह, यहाँ पे women को बिल्कुल mysterious बना दिया जाता है, and all those trashy lyrics कि you know ना में हाँ है।
I remember when I was in school, I think तब आया था कि आतिका खंडाला की वजह से ईव टीजिंग बढ़ गया है, तो ये गाना पब्लिक के लिए, पब्लिक डिस्कोर्स के लिए अच्छा नहीं है। आई डोंट नो हु इट वाज, बट दे सेड नहीं, पर गाना तो खराब है ही, बट मर्द वैसे ही खराब है, उनको गाने की जरूरत नहीं है ईव टीजिंग के लिए।
तो हाँ, तो उसमें भी विमेन को ही विलन बनाया जाता है इन मोस्ट ऑफ द सॉन्ग्स की, क्योंकि विमेन डिड नॉट एक्सेप्ट द प्रपोजल और डिड नॉट अप्रूव ऑफ द प्रपोजल, तो ऑफ कोर्स शी इज बिकम दिस विलनस फिगर। उनको बिल्कुल नेचर और नेचुरल कैलामिटी से कंपेयर किया जाएगा यूजिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मेटाफर्स। तो ये चीज़ें तो हमारे कल्चर में ही, आई थिंक वही बात वही है कि it's not something that will happen in just one go. It's a social and cultural problem, and solutions also lie herein. And we'll have to make a lot of efforts to actually initiate those conversations. Conversations honge, discussions honge, there will be disagreements. But so long as we keep talking about it, I think that may lead to some changes, hopefully.
Thank you for talking with us, Akanksha.
Thank
This
you.
was a lot of fun.
Thank
And
you so much.
I think this is एक डेकेड के बाद आतिका खंडाला डिस्कस हुआ हो, 2 डेकेड में भी।
Nope.